Hi there, Dan with Fathers for All. Today I'm going to talk about a follow-up to my previous video using Streamlabs OBS and how you can incorporate third-party apps like Proclaim and also hook up some different cameras to your laptop to improve your video quality, just like I did with this video here. If you've watched my previous video, you will know that the video quality was actually quite poor because I was using the audio or the web camera that was on my laptop. And in this video I'm going to show you a little bit about how I added extra cameras, what software I added to get those onto my computer, and also just some things I've learned since I started using OBS Streamlabs. Mainly things about streaming keys and getting things done the right way, and how we can get rid of that annoying little playing games at this time with friends, or like on our last church stream it said playing Uno with friends, because that's the game I chose in order for us to get online. So stay tuned as we jump into this training. Thanks. There. Okay, let's get started. First thing we want to do when we're going to be editing or changing that streaming key, this is kind of an answer to someone in the comments who asked, how do we get rid of that gaming icon or that playing games thing? And here's what I'm talking about. Let's take a look here. When you click on Go Live, typically when you sign into your Streamlabs account, it will ask you to sign into your Facebook account, and I did that, and I thought, okay, I'm good to go. And then and when I clicked on Go Live, it asked me if I want to share this to Facebook, and then I just click on Go Live here, and then it asks me to update my stream info. And if I put in my Facebook page, Compass Point Chapel, that's my church, and that's who we're gonna do a stream for, and that's kind of my whole focus right now, has been learning how to stream online so we can keep the church doors open in a virtual way. So that's not where, so I filled all that information in here, and then I tried to confirm and go live, and you must select a game. What? You got to select a game? Well, I'm not playing a game here. So when I clicked on this here, I just typed in Uno, because quite honestly, we're playing Uno because we're all social distancing, so we're all Uno, we're all single by ourselves, but we're with friends, which is why I chose that. But the problem is, when you do that, it tags a little thing under your live stream, and it says you're playing Uno with friends, and it looks kind of tacky, quite honestly. Now, if you're gaming and you're playing a game and that's part of the live stream, then that's great, it works great. But the problem is, I don't want to see Uno and friends there. So unfortunately I had to go through 2 live streams before I finally got to the bottom of this. And so I'm going to cancel. And the area that you need to update is right in here. You click on your settings down here, and it opens up all your settings for Streamlabs OBS. And you want to go into your stream section. And then right now this is just my name there. So, but if I want to switch to custom ingest, and it says, hey, a warning, it may change things if you change things up here, right? Well, here's what I want to do. I want to select my service, whether it's Facebook Live, YouTube, or whatever here. I want to select the service that I'm using, but then I also want to import my stream key. And then once I get that imported, and I'm all set, I should be good to go, right? Not quite. See, if you put that stream key in a little too soon, then like maybe a day before or a couple days before, like I did, I said, man, I thought I got this nailed. I thought, man, I'm good to go. And we hit go live, and it said I was going live, but nothing was happening. Well, turns out what I found out was that stream keys are temporary in most cases. So I didn't know that, and so that's what I ran into. So to get a stream key, you go to your Facebook page and log in, and then you go to your publishing tools. Then you click on your video library, and you click on live, and that's going to load up a new page. Now you don't want to share your stream key with anybody, because that will allow them to essentially go live on your page. And this is your stream key down here at the bottom that you copy and paste in. But in my understanding, I copied that and put that in, but that only lasts, per my notes, that only lasts about 240 minutes or 4 hours on my last Google search. So if you're going to go live in a couple hours, then that's going to work. But if it's beyond 4 hours, you're going to have to get a whole new stream key before you go live. The other thing you could do is use a persistent stream key. And when you do this, the whole stream key updates, and this is a permanent stream key. And you update your information here on the sides about what you're streaming, and then once you copy that stream key, then you can paste that into OBS. But what about going with YouTube? What if you need a stream key for YouTube? Well, the same thing goes with that. You would go into your channel dashboard, and in YouTube it's a little different, where you would go into your studio section of YouTube, and then you would create a go live section here, and then it's going to open up a new page, and it's going to ask you to punch in the information about what you're going to do. So we're going to simply type in here test stream, and I'm going to set this up. You want it to be public, but if you're doing some tests, you can do it to unlisted or private, so it doesn't go out into the public feed. And then you can also schedule it for later, and then you can kind of create the stream here, and then it will start that. And I think in stream settings you should be able to get your, right here, here's your stream setup help. You can get your stream key here and paste that into your software, and you can get going that way. So that's what I did for this. Click done to click done, then click go live to start streaming. So anyhow, that's kind of how I've figured it out. Of course, there's probably some other better ways to go a little bit easier in YouTube, but this is kind of what I've discovered. So this is connect to streaming software to start the preview. So all your stuff is generated here. I was searching and searching for a stream key, and I couldn't find it until I actually created a stream. So that's one thing I didn't know about with YouTube. Okay, so once you've gotten your stream keys all figured out, and you know that you're going to have to put in a stream key at a certain time, this is something that I had an issue with, because it was pretty frustrating, and it took me forever to learn this, because everyone that I ran into said, oh, you just grab your stream key here, punch it in, and you're good to go. And it was common knowledge to me that a stream key expired unless you used a persistent stream key. So I did not know that information, and I hope that helps some of you streamers out there just getting started. You have to put in a stream key, a new stream key, right sometime before when you're going to get your stream going. You can do it up to an hour before, I believe, but it has to be done in advance. So I would schedule things and do things, and my streaming would not work. So maybe there's someone else that explains it a little bit better, but for me, that's what I've understood. Like up to an hour or two before, I got to get that Facebook Live stream key added into the software so that I can use it to go live with. The other thing that I wanted to cover today is just camera setup and some of the different options that we're using. And the cool thing with Streamlabs OBS is it allows you to use all kinds of different cameras. And in fact, I have 3 cameras going on right now. I have my laptop webcam, which is really poor quality, but it's built into the laptop, and then I have a Logitech webcam, which is a little better quality. This is just your standard USB plug-in camera that runs about $70, and it does a good job. It produces decent quality video, and it can actually capture audio as well. If you don't have a dedicated microphone or lapel mic, this will do. And then the other camera that I've worked into that I just discovered how to do this recently is probably a much nicer quality camera, and that's your Canon DSLR camera. This is an older model. This is a Canon T2i, and I have to drop in a couple of photos in order to get this camera to work and to be able to record and not run out of battery. I bought an adapter to plug into my camera to keep it running pretty much indefinitely. It just will never run out of battery because it's plugged in. But most of these Canon cameras don't have any plug-in power. They all rely on the battery. So our church has recently decided to, we bought some knockoff, no-name, cheap camcorder for about 240 bucks, and it improved our quality over the Logitech webcam that I was using. This Logitech camera, by the way, is great for doing a live stream, for doing videos that are pretty close up, but anytime someone got really far away, the picture quality just wasn't there. So we switched to a camcorder, and that camcorder improved the signal a little bit, but it really wasn't that great. So to really get a better signal, we chose to go with a kind of like a mirrorless camera, and we're using a Canon M50, which I believe just arrived today. So I haven't got a chance to open it or review it or go through its settings. But from what I've discovered on YouTube, you need to have kind of a battery adapter to that in order to let it go. The other thing that you're going to need is the camera, like this Canon, and also the Canon M50, which is about a $500-$600 camera roughly. It's a mirrorless camera, great for using for YouTube, but can also be used for live streaming if you use one thing, and that is this application called Sparko, which I don't know where it went. Let me see if we can find it for you here. Oh, there's my Filmora editor. There's Proclaim. SparkoCam should be running somewhere in here. There it is. Okay. So here's the SparkoCam. This is a paid software. I paid 60 bucks for, well, it was $70, $69.99. They do include charge tax, so it's like $74 and change. And what this does is it allows you to control the camera features and qualities while the camera's connected. The other thing that it does, it disables all the on-screen imaging, and it will actually give you somewhat of a clean image over the USB out on the camera. The other thing you can do with your camera is take your HDMI out on the camera and bring it in using like a converter box for an even better image quality. With this USB, it might be a little delayed, so you're seeing what we get. But the cool thing is you can change color temperature here. You can go to daylight. You can go into the tungsten, which is pretty standard for what we're working with now. And then I kind of went into like the just color temperature, which is a little bit, I guess, flatter. Color temp. The other thing you can do on here is you can do autofocus. It might do it right now. Let's see. So it may refresh that. And then here's the big deal here, right here. This restart live view every 25 minutes. This keeps a live image coming out of the camera, and the camera just doesn't shut off, which is tremendous. This Canon camera, without this software and a bunch of other, I was using some type of hacked free software, it would crash on me or reset, and then I'd lose my live feed. So I thought that I couldn't use this camera for a live feed, and turns out it's been up and running for quite some time. So it's pretty awesome. And so that then can be brought into OBS Streamlabs using the SparkoCam, and you can actually get a pretty good quality. The next part I want to look at is using Proclaim and integrating that with your OBS Streamlabs so you can have like kind of a multi-camera presentation. So in this video I have Proclaim up and running, and this is kind of like our presentation setup. And this shows kind of like our beginning slides and then our worship slides and all this stuff. And I want to be able to use these and show these online. And so what I did, we just run this like normal. We go on air. It sends a signal out to our main. This signal is going out to our secondary monitor, and it's just kind of zipping right through the slides there. So what we did in order to for our worship setup, let's go into OBS, and this required a little bit of work on my end because I was also controlling the camera and I was also controlling Proclaim, and it was quite a bit of work. But to make that a little bit easier, what I did was switch over to half screen here, and I chose Proclaim, and this split screen allowed me to bring up my main screen. So when I clicked on presentation monitor, that is where I had everything coming through, and I chose we had a kind of like a worship overlay main and a worship overlay secondary, which is actually the Logitech camera. So in this situation, the Logitech camera was showing the worship team down below, and then people could still see the music to go along. We want to change this and want to improve this to where the music is kind of right below at the bottom down here. But you know, the problem with that is we have a different way. We need to do that a different way and not do that with Proclaim, I don't think, because Proclaim will not give us a we're taking an HDMI feed out of Proclaim, so it looks as if even when you make the image transparent in the background, OBS thinks it's a solid image. So, and I'll show you what I mean by that when we get to I'm going to take let's see, our message overlay. And so here is our message overlay. This is our 4K camera, the cheap knockoff camera, but let's just I'm going to add a new source to this image, and I'm going to choose video capture device, and I'm going to click add source, and it's going to show me my option for Canon T2i. I'm going to add that source, and then I'm going to right click on this and make it transform to fit to screen. And that, now whatever is on the top of on these sources is overlaying. So in this situation, I want the presentation stuff to be overlaid. And then over here in Proclaim, we made these slides transparent, and so this is kind of what it looks like. So when the pastor is moving his slides remotely, we have a constant feed of what is going on in the bottom of the image, and so that really helps us out. And then we can switch back to our different cameras. If we wanted to go to a full screen, then we can do that. That's kind of how we used Proclaim to take an output, a feed out, and then bring it right into the OBS platform. So I know I covered a lot in this video, but I wanted to just address some of the hurdles and questions that we were dealing with, and that was dealing with the OBS and Facebook and YouTube streaming keys and trying to get rid of that. I think we've achieved that, and we're going to try to do that coming up this week. And then adding in a higher quality camera. We figured out we can add in a DSLR camera without having to use an HDMI to USB converter using the SparkoCam application. This was huge because we could spend $600 on a nice mirrorless Canon M50, and then I think it was like $20 to $30 for the battery adapter pack, and then another $70 for the SparkoCam application. Now, if we decide that we want to go up to a higher stream quality, we can do that using the an HDMI out on the camera, and then also buying like an affordable HDMI to USB converter. That would be an option, but that's like a minimum extra $300 purchase to get an HDMI out. Might be a little cleaner stream, might be a little bit more higher frame rate, but for someone that's standing still most of the time and just speaking, it might not make a difference, and the USB might just be fine. So for what we started using this as our primary, really far away, kind of blurred and not very good image quality, to going up slightly in image quality using a camcorder, to this week we're going to probably have something similar to this look or even better, because it's a much newer camera, the M50 mirrorless. It's got a multi-point autofocus. It's going to produce a resolution quality that even for a live stream will be way better than any webcam that we can have to deal with. So in all, we're using the free Streamlabs OBS. We're using a free streaming service like Facebook Live or YouTube Live, and then the money that we're spending is obviously on the laptop. You have a decent laptop to run all this, your internet connection, and then the camera and the SparkoCam software. All those combined, I still think for a turnkey streaming solution, you can produce a pretty good quality production at a relatively low cost of entry. There are other services out there that might be more suited for your needs as you scale up, and there's nothing wrong with those. But for us, we're kind of on a budget, and we didn't want to spend a whole lot of money up front until we kind of got this system mastered, and that's what we chose to do. So this is kind of our solution for Compass Point Chapel. Thanks for watching today. I hope this video has provided some value to you, and if it has, would you please consider hitting that subscribe button and smashing the like button as well on this video. Also, if there's questions or topics that you would like me to cover in future videos, please let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to explore those and check it out. As always, this is Dan from Fathers for All, wishing you a blessed and happy day. Take care.